A new round of executive orders signed by President Trump today, this time for tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China. Americans are bracing for prices to rise at grocery stores and gas pumps across the country. And the move is stoking fears of a trade war as leaders in Canada and Mexico are vowing to hit back. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Tonight, President Trump imposing sweeping tariffs on America's biggest trading partners, a move that could upend global trade and raise prices at the grocery store and the gas pump.
There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people will understand that.
The president signing executive orders to hit Canada and Mexico with 25% tariffs, with the lower 10% tariff on Canadian oil exports, and China with 10% tariffs, blaming them for illegal immigration and drug trafficking.
They've treated us very unfairly.
The tariff set to take effect on February 4th, just after midnight. Experts say American families could pay $830 more on average this year with those tariffs in place, with higher prices for fresh produce, alcohol, clothes, electronics, cars, and more. Those tariffs on oil and gas could hike prices at the pump by as much as 70 cents per gallon. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says she's still weighing her next move, while Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they're ready to strike back.
If tariffs are implemented against Canada, we will respond. We won't relent until tariffs are removed, and of course, everything is on the table.
Amos chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "The lion have roared, who will not fear? The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy." That I'd like to say, Kol La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Also, Devon Citadels of GMS. And honest Joachim. Peace and bless your brothers and sisters that listen to Church of the Firstborn, the hopeful elect. Kol La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And man, prophecy, man. This whole year's been, the year just started, man. And it's, man, this year, man, that's what the scripture says. A lion have roared, who would not fear, man? The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy. This is the time of prophecy, man. And that's the spirit of the Mashiach on Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. The spirit of the Mashiach, the spirit of Yahweh Shai, is the spirit of prophecy. What are we prophesying? What is our job? According to Jeremiah 28:8, we're prophesying the downfall of these heathen kingdoms, these nations, and primarily America, man. All right. Going in on this whole, been on to various topics. But, this guy, he's a trending topic of the week ever since he came in office. DJ Trump. Now he's starting a trade war. Right. He said this on his campaign. You people complaining. First of all, he told you exactly what he was going to do, and he's doing it. Right. First, it was the whole immigration. Right. Starting a whole uproar with that. And then now he's doing the tariffs, the trade wars with his own allies, man. He's doing with Canada and he's doing with Mexico. And then now he said he's going to also do it to NATO next, man. So we see all the prophecies is coming to pass. We know there's going to, this is also going to affect the market. Put that in a post, the community post. It's already affecting the stock market. And we know there's going to be a big famine, man. Right? That's going to pretty much cause havoc, all right, on the world markets, man. Because this happened before on the the Smoot-Hawley Act. Let me see if I pull up an article on that in Britannica. It was President Herbert Hoover who signed that legislation back in the 1930s, man. And that, when you go into the history on that, exasperated the Great Depression. But the Great Depression happened from 1929 to, I believe, 1939. Right? It was widespread unemployment, poverty. All right? People were poor. The markets crashed. And within that, as soon as it started, what made it worse was the Smoot-Hawley Act, man. Herbert Hoover caused tariffs on these foreign nations, man. Matter of fact, let me get that article. So Trump is doing the exact same thing. And what was the outcome? That made the Great Depression even worse, man. And the Great Depression, it didn't just affect America. It affected the global market, right? And people were living in extreme poverty, man. And we're about to head into a greater depression, right? So let me get this article real quick. Right? Let's get this article, man. A lion have roared, who will not fear, man. The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy. Let's get this right here. It said the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. It said, read a little bit of it. The U.S. legislation that raised import duties. So those are, import is pretty much goods that the American government purchases from other countries. So he taxed that same thing Trump is doing to protect American businesses, farmers, adding considerable strain to the international economic climate of the Great Depression. Right. So it was these two senators, Reed Smoot of Utah, chairman of Senate Finance Committee, and Representative Willis Hawley of Oregon, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. It was the last legislation under which the U.S. Congress set actual tariff rates. Now I'm going to jump to the point. I'm not going to go into this whole history of, World War I and the reason why they came up with it. I'm going to jump straight into it. It says, let's see. In response to the stock market crash of 1929, however, protectionism gained strength, and though the tariff legislation subsequently passed only by a narrow blah, blah, blah. Let me jump straight to this, man. I don't got time to read all that, man. We'll go straight to where they go into the banks crashed. Okay, right here. It says, Herbert Hoover, who was the president at the time, signed the bill, the Smoot-Hawley Act, into law on January 17, 1930. Smoot-Hawley contributed to the early loss of confidence on Wall Street and signal U.S. isolationism. Pretty much America didn't want to get involved in any international conflicts at that time. They were isolated, right? It says, by raising the average tariff by some 20%, it also prompted retaliation from foreign governments, like you had in Mexico and Canada said, they're going to respond with tariffs of their own. And if he does it to NATO, Europe, they're also going to do the same. And he also did it to China, man. Most of these imports come from China. And America's already at odds with China as it is. Okay. And like they said, there's a whole saying, trade wars turn into real wars, man. Okay. We all know that these Eastern nations going to come up against Babylon. And we know eventually NATO is going to turn against Babylon. And we're seeing how these things are going to play out, man. Right. It says, it was also prompted retaliation from foreign governments, and many overseas banks began to fail because the legislation set both a specific and ad valorem tariff rates. So he sent these taxes on these imports. It caused a lot of banks to start failing, right? And it says, what happened? Within 2 years, some 24 countries adopted similar beggar thy neighbor duties, making worse an already beleaguered world economy and reducing global trade. U.S. imports from and exports to Europe fell by some 2/3 between 1929 and 1932, while overall global trade declined by similar levels in 4 years that the legislation went in effect. So this made the Great Depression even worse, man. And this is when a lot of those different political ideologies started coming into play during the whole, even in World War II over there in Germany. That's when you had Adolf Hitler. He started coming into power, man, because of these economic crises, right? So people were looking for what? Strong leadership. You had this guy, Herbert Hoover, because of this foolish legislation that he passed. People wanted him out of office immediately, man. And this one, you had Franklin D. Roosevelt become president for 3 terms, man. And then we know later on you had what? Right after that, World War II. And that's how America got out of the Great Depression. Right? Because started creating more manufacturing, more jobs, weapons, factories. And of course, America won the war as well. And that's how you had the golden age, man. See, it was war that got them out of that Great Depression. But what made the Great Depression worse was tariffs, the Smoot-Hawley Act, man. And Trump is doing the same thing again, man. That's why, let me get Isaiah the 19th chapter. So, a little history lesson on that. Let me get Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. And we know, like we said, it's going to be a greater depression. The markets are going to crash again, man. That's why the precept says this. Look at Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. It says, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. Right? Which, we usually use the scripture on people being, this degenerate, reprobate spirit that you got in Babylon the Great, because that's the most I mingled a perverse spirit, man. Everything is turned upside down. But even the leaders, right? I saw his wisdom is starting to depart, man. He doesn't have that wisdom anymore because the Most High is what? He's doing things for you to fall into certain traps. That's going to lead to your demise, man. Lead to your destruction, man. And like he said, his determination is to gather all you nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat, so he can pour upon you his indignation. So this is the Lord mingling that perverse spirit, right? It says, and that's how there's a special spirit on that demonic nigga Trump, man. He's been on fire since he came in. And he hasn't slowed down. So the scripture says, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work, man. So these tariffs, he's causing Egypt to err. That's what scripture says in Sirach, the 10th chapter. An unwise king destroyed his people, man. Just briefly paraphrasing that precept. And I think it says, but through the prudence of them which are on authority, the city shall be inhabited, man. Right? A wise king, he's going to keep his society well ordered, man. Right? But an unwise king like this guy here, he's destroying his society. And you MAGA idiots that worship him, you going to feel that pain as well, man. All right? And this is the point. It says, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. So the Most High, man, he put a perverse spirit, not only the people, but most importantly, the leaders. Okay? Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So these tariffs, taxing these imports, other nations retaliating, is going to affect the stock market, jobs, manufacturing. It's going to affect farmers. All right? Did not Yahweh Bashim Al-Sah say in Jeremiah the 50th chapter that he was going to cut off the sower from Babylon? So it says the sown places shall be unsown. Oh, let me get that actually in a second. That's the 6th chapter, man. So that's going to be what? Affect the manufacturers, the farmers, the workers, a lot of the immigrants, a lot of jobs that these people don't want to do, especially Issachar. These immigrants fulfill that role, man. Right? Not even, taxing the Mexican imports, but even the farms here. Who's working on those farms, those long hours? That's Issachar, man. Who's on all this landscape and construction? That's Issachar, man. Who's in these kitchens? Right? You go to any restaurant, Indian, Mediterranean, it doesn't matter, man. Issachar and these other tribes are back there, man. So this man, like you say, he's destroying the society, and you causing these tariffs. So that's going to end up messing up the dollar. Man, it's about to go down, man. The biggest industry is about to be infected. But he wants to have tax cut for his billionaire friends, these technocrats. And he's also giving Elon Musk control over people's Social Security, man. So like we say, that's going man, the hammer's about to come down on people, man. Social Security checks about to cut, welfare, man. And like we said, they're going to try to bring forth this new system. But let me get 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. No, matter of fact, let me get Let me get 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. 2nd Ezra's, because I just quoted it. Right? So who's controlling Trump? It's Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. Matter of fact, since I'm here, before I get to the Apocrypha, let me get Daniel the 10th chapter. This is when Yahweh Shai came to Daniel to give him understanding of the vision. But there's a point I want to get out. Right? He goes into the Lord's description and he said, Daniel, you're greatly beloved. But he tells him why it took so long for him to come. And this is the point. Daniel chapter 10, verse 13. It says, verse 12, Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for the first day that thou set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself fast before thy power, thy words were heard, and I come for by thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, right? Because they were working on his mind. So it took time. Why? To perform their will, man. These kings are moving to the tone of Yahweh Shemel, the tune of Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. So the Lord was working on this king's mind, right? You know, these kings back then, they were on a high level, man, and they were dealing with certain spirits. Okay, so the Lord was working on his mind for 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, the chief archangel in Yahweh Shai, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. All right, so then he sent Michael to continue working on his mind. Now he came to Daniel, right? So like we said, who's working on these kings' minds to do? Let's see how about Shemal Shah working on their minds, man. Right? Certain angels are working on their mind. I tell you that Revelation 7th chapter as well. Okay. Now I come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. Okay. So we telling our people right now what's happening we're in that time now. We are in that time. Right. Verse 20 though. Then he said, Knowest that I come unto thee, and now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I'm gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. Because Daniel saw that in the vision. So the Lord was working on these rulers' minds to do his will. And we know after the prince of Persia fell, the king of Persia, then Alexander the Greek came into power, man. After he defeated Darius III. Okay. So, but who was moving him? That was Yahweh Shemal Shah. Just like he's working on Trump's mind. And all these kings and these rulers' mind. Right, for the army of the battle of Armageddon. Okay, but let me get 2nd Ezra the 6th chapter now. I said I wanted to go through that real quick. So this economy, get ready, man. All right, this is why we said we all gonna be tried, we all gonna be tested. A lot of comforts that we enjoy, we're gonna lose that. Right, this is all a part of the straight gate, going through the straight gate, man. Right, this is the path, that narrow path to salvation. A lot of things we have to let go and detach, man. Right? Because it's about to get real hard. It's about to get real bumpy, man. Right? So start preparing your mind for hardship. To start losing. Right? If you lose with the world, you gain with the Lord, man. You gain with Yahweh Shai. Scripture says we're all pilgrims anyway. That's all our forefathers, man. All right? This place is not our, the scripture says this is not our rest. This is not our continuing city, man. This is not the end all be all. For a lot of Israelites, it is. That's why they running over here. And a lot of you coming over here to be judged, man. Because why? Like we said, great judgment is coming to Babylon the Great. Let me get 2nd Ezra the 6th chapter. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. See? So these fields are going to be empty with your crops. Right? These barns, farmers put their food, their livestock. Right? You have right now, they culling a lot of chickens, man. Culling a lot of the livestock, man. Right? So these crops, foods, the animals. Scripture says the storehouses. Let me read that again. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. It's like we said, it's going to affect the crops. It's going to be a famine, the storehouses, the barns, the livestock, right? The Most High said he was going to cut off the soil from Babylon, man. So then you're not going to have nothing in these warehouses and these supermarkets. It's going to be found empty. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid, which we're blowing the trumpet. Right, that's why we kept the memorial under the trumpets. Right, the most important new moon of the year, sound the trumpet in the new moon. But also, Ishar, he has his trumpet as well. Right, his emergency broadcast system. When he broadcasts on the news, stock market has crashed. Right, terrorist attack. That's going to cause people to what? The scripture says, when every man hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid, man. Right? If they tell you, listen, there's a cyber attack or the stock market has now went down, people can't get access to their money, banks going to have bail-ins, hold people's money hostage. Scripture says what? At that time, friends shall fight one another. Let me read again. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Which literally, yeah, you're not going to have any water, man, or access to clean water. But take it even further, spiritually, the springs, the fountains of living water, people are not going to have access to the truth, man. The Rakakwadash. Right? The springs of fountains of water is flowing right now, man. Right? That's why brothers push this word, and you could listen to this word 24/7. But when all hell start breaking loose, the scripture says it's going to stand still. Right? You're not going to have access to this information anymore, man, because the grace period is up, man. And what happened is going to be nothing but chaos on the planet Earth. All right? So let me read two more precepts. A couple of more precepts, actually. So now's the time to really draw nigh to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, man. Okay. Let me see. Is it Psalms, the 9th chapter I wanted to get? You see? This is good. Okay. So let me get, what precept I want to get? It's Psalm 62, verse 10. Let me read another precept in Psalms, and I get one more in Mark. I'm going to close this out, man. All right. Psalm 62, verse 10, it says, trust not in oppression. And that's the majority of our people. If you trust in a so-called white man, you trust in America, you trust in his money, his dollar, that means you trust in oppression, man. Right? Scripture says, trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your hearts upon them, man. Because we have to be like pilgrims, man. Right? That's what scripture also tells you in 2 Ezra, the 16th chapter. It tells you him that buyeth is him that loseth. Okay? Because we are going to lose, man. But we going to gain with Yahweh Shai, gain with the Lord. So the scripture says, don't set your heart on these riches, man. And what you're supposed to do, verse 7. In the Most High is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in the Most High, man. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah is a refuge for us, man. Us, man. The house of David, the elect, man. He's a refuge for us, man. That's why we have to put our stock in him. Okay, our hope is in him, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me just read one more precept and I'll close this out, man. So, man, brothers, sisters, man, we got to get ready, man. Okay. This man is not playing. We see the spirit that's on this man already. And that's really Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah telling us that the time is short, man. Right. He's about to wrap this bitch up, man. Right. He's about to close the curtain on Babylon, man. Let me read Mark 13, verse 28. It says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the door, man. It's at the door, man. Okay? Yahweh Shai is at the door, man. He said, when you see the fig tree, you see the branches, you see, like we about to enter spring real soon, the Pesach, you know, the flowers and the trees and animals come out of hibernation, right? You know that the spring, the warm weather's coming. Well, when you see these prophecies coming, you know Yahweh Shai is at the door, man. All right? So, you know, hopefully the lesson was edifying. Like I say, Kol Elohim La Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Shalom.